Ladies and gentlemen, demons do exist. They walk among us and operate very much in our reality. I'd like to tell you a story about a demon. Our story begins with a man by the name of DanielPierson. He's your average, ordinary, everyday guy. So you'd think. So this one day, he grabs his pickup truck and he heads out to the commercial centre to go and buy a few handyman bits and pieces for a project he's got going on in the house. So out of nowhere, this demon, snaps. You know, as they're all capable of doing. Out of nowhere, he becomes a fruitcake. Balls out, crazy, foaming at the mouth, rabid. He's so fruity, in fact, that the only fruit he can think of is grape. So he looks around without hint or preview. He decides to attack and assault a 20-year-old innocent girl by the name of Anjela Urumova, who's going about her shopping, minding her own business. He proceeds to set upon her, not unlike a rabid dog, drags her, pulls her pants down, liked what he saw, and then decided to pick her up and attempt to kidnap her in a bid to take her away to a more secluded location to continue his diabolical exploration. But wait, Chernobog, Kali, Shiva, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus Christos himself, some benevolent deity managed to come down and intervene at just the right time. And this demon they call man perceived the awesome power of the divine and fled the scene, howling, not unlike a wolf. So the police were quickly called out. Pierson was quickly apprehended and just as quickly incarcerated with a bail bond set at $1 million. $1 million. And rightly so, because of the heinous nature of the crime. I mean, you can't have men, demons, walking around perpetrating these kinds of crimes on the innocent members of public. And just out of interest, do you know what men do to other men who are in prison and accused of SA or grape? So, reality check. Ladies and gentlemen, that story that I've just told you is a lie. Completely untrue and fabricated, in fact, by the true demon of this story. I introduce to you Anjela Urumova. Notice the darkened discoloration underneath the eye area. This is a telltale sign of demon possession. But I'd like to bring your attention to the eyeballs themselves. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. I ask you, do you see a soul here? Because I don't. I see a disturbing vacancy. I see eyes void of empathy and compassion. I see eyes void of emotion and guilt. So guiltless, in fact, that she fabricated and tampered with evidence to further corroborate her story. She even implicated another party as complicit to her crime, her father. I'll get into that a little bit later. She'd had multiple interviews by the police in which she was able to give the police details such as the mark of the vehicle, the trajectory of the vehicle, which enabled the police to speedily apprehend Pierson. Seemed like an open and shut case, right? But fortunately, with continued pressure from Pierson's family, police were prompted to look into the investigation a little more. And the more they looked into it, the more things didn't add up. Now imagine if this accusation had have taken place in a city that had lots of crimes, ergo not enough time to spend on one particular offence. Imagine if the sheriff happened to be, Judge Leslie Alden. Oh my God. There'll be nothing down for that guy. But what a tangled web we weave. And that tangled web started to choke Urumova. See, the more answers she gave, the more spotty her testimony was. So in the end, after 31 days of Pierson, an innocent man, being in the worst place that human beings have created, the most dangerous environment, she decides to come correct and tell the truth. Damage limitation. She tells the police that she planned to tell the truth before the court date. She'd even told the police that her father knew of her lie, and she told him, ergo, she was going to tell the police at a later date. She told the police that during this alleged assault, that Pierson had punched her in the face, screaming at her and telling her to shut up. And it turned out that the mark that the police had seen on her face had came from her own grandmother, who suffers from dementia, that threw an item in her face because she failed to recognise her at that moment in time. What did this guy do? What crimes had he committed? Had they crossed paths before? Has he insulted her? Hell, has he even looked at her funny? Apparently not. Do you know why she chose this Pierson? Why she made up the story? Because he looked creepy. He looked creepy? So what's happening to her? Okay, she's now been arrested and she's now in jail. She's now had her bail bond set at $30,000. $30,000. Okay, let me just say that again. $30,000. Is that 3% of what his bail bond was? Is their crime more insidious and dangerous than his? Of course, he didn't do anything. This is an innocent man who was taken away from his home, kicking, screaming, from a happy place, from his friends, his wife, his children, his occupation. His reputation has been irreparably damaged. I mean, look at the way the world works nowadays. There are people still now today that are calling for Johnny Depp's head because they believe that he was the abuser in the Amber Heard case. Should one not be subject to the same conditions that they place somebody in? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That to me hints at some form of equality. How equal is it if a man who is innocent, that does nothing wrong, has a bail set at $1 million and the demon has a bail set at $30,000? Well, the great thing is that she's still in jail at the moment awaiting sentencing. I can only surmise that her father has refused to pay the bail bond because of the disgusting nature of her accusation and probably the disgusting reasoning. Okay, what's going to happen to this Anjela Urumova? I'd like to direct your attention to a quote from the Daily Wire. And I'd like to bring to your attention this little or no jail time. So we have criminal conspiracy, wasting police time and resources when they could have been used on a real situation, a real case, a real situation where somebody could have been attacked, essayed, fabricating and falsifying evidence, hinting at the complicity of somebody else in your crime. There's a whole lot of issues here. That doesn't seem right to me at all. I mean, what's the court trying to tell us here? You can be a man going about your own business, and a woman could come up, not even come up, stand in a distance and just merely perceive you and accuse you of essay and rape and kidnap. You can then be dragged, kicking and screaming from your family, from all the things you love, from your job, your reputation, irreparably tarnished and placed in jail. Then have a bullseye painted on you and having to walk with your back against the wall while you're in prison. And a woman in turn can enjoy all the benefits of victimhood. You'll have people coming out telling her that she's so strong, that she's a victim, that men are terrible, men are evil, men are demons. You'll have a whole army of simps. Hell, you can even make a GoFundMe and get rich too. But it's okay, because if it comes out that you were a liar and you just made anything up, you'll get little to probably no jail time. Ladies and gentlemen, demons do exist. They walk among us. Go forth and put on the armour of God. Because in 2025, we're going to need it.